there, we are here today with Pam. We are going to do a quick all levels flow to get you a little bit of a hip opening. So we're going to work towards Lotus. I'm going to show you a couple modifications along the way, depending on how those cranky hips sometimes feel. We'll get you rocking and rolling. So we're going to start at the top of our mat in a Baddha Konasana. So she's just going to come forward, bring the bottoms of the feet to touch. So straight away, just hands into the lap or on the shins, whatever feels comfortable. Close your eyes and just take a couple breaths at the beginning of every class, kind of using the first few moments to kind of drop into the space. So as the bottoms of her feet kind of push into one another, her knees start to open up. The spine becomes nice and tall. And just take a couple breaths here. The jaw is soft, the bottom jaw is released from the top jaw. Give it just another breath. The tendency, because the outer hips tend to hold some tension, is to kind of hold them up a little bit, kind of bring a little bit of tension in them. Instead, what I want you to do is think release. I want you to think heaviness on the outer hips. Taking one more breath in, and one more breath out. Flutter the eyes open. Take the knees, help them in towards one another. Cross your ankles, roll over your knees, and we're just going to find a tabletop position. So the knees are going to stack right underneath the hips, the shoulders right over the wrists, and you're just going to take a couple rounds of organic movement. So you can cat-cow if this feels okay. You can start to barrel roll the chest a little bit if that feels okay. Just some organic movement. You can even close your eyes here too if you just kind of want to get the visual distractions out for a few more breath cycles. Anything that feels good. Okay. And then what we're going to do is work a little bit of a cat and cow along with a child's pose. You're going to come to a neutral position in the spine. You're going to take the knees out slightly. Big toes to touch and settle back into child's pose. Keep the hands where they're at. Good. So on the inhale, you're going to come up to tabletop position. Shine the heart forward. And on the exhale, round the upper back. Draw belly in and then exhale back to child's pose. So one breath, one movement. Inhale, you're going to come up into cow pose. Draw shoulders down the back. Tilt the tailbone up. Exhale, round into cat, and then sink the hips back to child's pose. Good. Two more just like that. Little dynamic movement. Inhale, coming up. Drawing shoulder blades together, tilting tailbone. Exhale, round your upper back, and send the hips back towards your heels. One more just like that. Inhale, coming up for cow pose. Shining the heart space. Exhale, rounding the upper back, pulling belly in, sending hips back to child's pose. This time, inhale, coming up through tabletop, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's set your first one up. All right. So again, some organic movement here is always invited, especially at the beginning of my classes. Down dog just needs a minute to settle into. So you can rock to the tiptoes, you can rock the heels, you can sway it out, whatever feels good. And then when you're ready, look up to your hands, and on the exhale, just step, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bow the body. Two more just like that. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthening the spine. And exhale, bow, let it go. One more time. Inhale, think crown of the head stretching forward. Exhale, bow, let it go. On this first one, stay rounded in the upper back, Pam. Come up slowly, one vertebra at a time. Once you get all the way to the top, give the shoulders a couple rolls, maybe free the neck space up. We're just going to work 3 classic sun A's to get us rocking and rolling, linking breath to movement, and then we'll get right into those hips. So come to the top of the mat, bring the big toes to touch, bring your hands to your heart. Standing up nice and tall, take an inhale, reach for the space around you, and take an exhale, hinge right at your hips. Take an inhale, halfway lift, flat back, step to plank pose. Inhale, shifting the weight forward, exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra, yogi's choice, pulling the heart space through. Exhale, hips up, downward facing dog. Give it 3 breaths here. So as the heels start to find a little bit of a heaviness, the hips lift up towards the sky. Good. So again, a nice flat back here, ears right in between those biceps. Good. Bring your big toes to touch. Take a look up. Inhale. Exhale, step or float, top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, draw chin to chest. This time with a flat back, stand up, stretch up, reach up. Exhale, pull it to your heart. Good, 2 more, just like that. Inhale, linking breath to movement. And exhale, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step or float, plank to chaturanga. Beautiful. Inhale, she's going to pull her heart through, chest up. Exhale, hips up. 3 breaths. So the arm placement is important, right? The triceps, as they wrap into the midline, it allows the shoulder blades to draw down the back. So you end up with this really nice, strong, straight back. Her hands are planted firmly, index knuckle, thumb knuckle pressing down. Good, bring your big toes to touch. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step or float. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, bow it in. Inhale, stand up, stretch up, reach for all the space around you. Exhale, draw to your heart. 1 more, sun A. Inhale, move with the breath. Exhale, bow. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Exhale, step or float, your vinyasa. Big breath. Thighs up, knees up, chest up. Exhale, hips up, downward facing dog. So the hands are placed. The feet are about hip distance apart. Those quads engage, right? Feel your kneecaps lift as you press your heart back to your thigh bones. Good. Big toes to touch. Take a peek up. End of that exhale, steps or floats you all the way up. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, bow. Inhale, stand up, stretch up, reach up. Exhale, pull it to your heart. All right, ready for the fast track into those hips, right? We're going to take a chair variation. You're going to turn your toes out like a little ballerina. And you're going to lift your feet, right? Lift your heels up so that your heels are pressing into one another. And then bend into the knees. Look out in front of you. Bring your hands to your heart. So what's going to help get really into those hips is if she resists heel into heel, the knees open up. Chest is up. Good. Gaze is soft, and she's going to take tiny pulses, just a little pulse in and a little pulse out. Right? So I want you to breathe into this chair variation, right? Your chest is up, your shoulders are back, your knees are out, your heels are resisting. I know. 3, 2, exhale, fold forward, heels out, let it go. Nice work. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, your vinyasa. Please step or float. Inhale is your upward facing dog. Exhale is your downward facing dog. Good. We're going to take a round of warriors on each side. Again, playing with that external rotation in the hip. So inhale, please your right leg up, Pam. And exhale, pull through. We're going to come right into warrior 2. Back heel goes flat, coming up and open. All right. So the gaze is soft over the front fingers there. The front knee is bent to stack right over that ankle. So again, we've placed the front hip into this external position. So we're going to flow back and forth. So inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale into extended side angle. Take that arm up and over. And then inhale, reverse, up and back. And then exhale, extended side angle. So you're going to move twice more with your breath. And the hips are going to stay a little sneakily into this position, right? 1 more time, up and back. Exhale, extended side angle for the pause this time. So you can take your elbow to your thigh. The left arm is coming up and over, so you create this energy line all the way down to the outside of your left foot. Your right knee is generously bent, breathing into that hip for 1 more inhale. Good. To come out of it, you're going to inhale, reverse your warrior. And you're going to exhale, hands down, touch down. Right leg inhales all the way up and back. 3-legged plank to chaturanga. Inhale, big breath, shines the heart through. Exhale, downward facing. Nice work. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, pull through right into warrior 2. All right. So again, stacking that left knee. You want to stack it right over the ankle. Right? Mindful of the placement of the knee. Okay. Again, that external rotation. So you're drawing that left sit bone under you. Good. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, extended side angle. Couple more with the breath. So inhale, finding all that space in the left side body. Beautiful. And then exhale, finding all that space in the right side body. Good. 2 more. Keeping the legs in the exact same position. They don't move at all. Back and forth. Beautiful. 1 more time, reverse. And then you're going to hang out extended side angle here. Again, taking the elbow to the knee if that feels okay for you. The right arm comes up and over. Breathe into the right side body. Breathe all the way down. And then as you're stretching out the right side of the body, that left sit bone is still drawing underneath of you to create that external rotation. Good. To come out of it, we're going to inhale, reverse. Exhale, touch down. Left leg all the way. You got to clear that hip flexor out. And then plank to chaturanga. Beautiful. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing. Pause and downward facing dog. Just for a moment, hit a little reset button. Good. And then bring your big toes to touch. Take a peek up at your hands. Inhale on the end of that exhale. Hop or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Hands to your hips. Draw your shoulder blades down the back and come up with a flat back all the way up. Nice. Feel okay? Okay. We're just going to work 2 more standing preps, and then we're going to finish up on the ground. So I'm going to have her turn to the camera here. There we go. So we're going to come into tree pose, grounding that left foot, and then just picking that right knee up. So placing the right foot into the inner left thigh, gazes out on the horizon, hands to your heart space. So here's the trick, right? The hip has to go into an externally rotated position, right? But you have to resist a little bit. As the foot pushes into the left thigh pushes back into the foot, and it cranks the energy all the way up the sternum. So across the shoulders, heart space lifts. Beautiful. Staying with that position just for another breath in. Good. And you're going to take our right hands to that knee. Right? And you're going to slowly take the foot up off of the inner thigh. Right? So open up the hip for me, Pam. Yeah. So the position here sometimes is that the booty goes back. What I want you to think about is the tailbone drawing down as the belly draws up and in so that we really catch the external rotation. Jaw is soft, easy breath. Take an inhale. And then slowly knees come back to center. Drop the foot. Whew. Shake it out a little bit. So second side, grounding the right foot this time, opening up the left leg into tree pose. So finding that inner right thigh, finding your gaze out on the horizon. Good. Hands to Anjali Mudra. Again, working shoulder blades down the back, heart space lifts. Good. Resisting left foot into your right thigh just as much as right thigh is resisting into the foot. Chest up. Good. Take a breath in. Left hand reaches over there to that knee. Right? Good. Pops the foot up off the inner thigh, catches the knee. Yep. Good. So a lot of different variations here. We're going to stick just with the knee because I'm really more concerned with the external rotation, not so much the hamstring today. But there's another option where you can piece finger the big toe and stretch it out. Let's stay for one more breath, drawing that left sit bone under you. Beautiful. And exhale, knee comes back to center, releasing the foot, dropping it down. Whew, nice work. So we're both going to play with this next one on you. I'm going to have Pam scooch over to the left, and we're both going to sit down into our prep for Lotus. So Lotus can be a funny little thing. It took me a while to get Lotus for the first time, so there's a lot of different variations that you can play with. I'm going to show you some modifications. Pam's going to end up showing you full pose, okay? So we're going to start with the left leg extended out, and we're going to pull our right foot into our thigh. So first option, right into that inner thigh. I'm going to stay here. Pam's going to take her right outer foot into her left hip crease. So if this is okay for the knee, this is a nice option. If not, I want you to stay here. Making sure that the left toes are flexed back. You can take your hands by your side. Think long spine, okay? So option 1, stay here, working again that external rotation in the hip. Option 2, we're going to play a little game. So we're going to take our left foot right above that space where the right knee sits, okay? So the test is if the right knee can touch the ground, then you might be ready for Lotus. If that right knee is still floating up here in space, all I want you to do is take that left foot, I'm going to show the modification, and catch it right under your knee, okay? So her knee can come all the way down. So what she's going to do is she's going to take this ankle and it's going to help cross the shin up into full Lotus pose. All right. And then again, kind of propping up a little bit. Good. Take an inhale wherever you're at, either the modification or the full pose. And then exhale, just start to walk it out a little bit. So you want to walk it out, but keeping the sit bones glued down. You don't want them to come up off the mat. You really want to kind of put a little bit of heavy weight into the sit bones so they stay grounded. Her back is nice and flat. Take another breath, easy breath. And then exhale, slowly coming up. So you want to help yourself out of this, right? You want to help that left leg extend back out. Whew, the right leg extend back out. Maybe shake it out a little bit. And here we go, second side. Right leg stays extended. I'm going to show the modification into the inner thigh. She's going to take the outer left foot and put it right into that right hip crease. All right? Keep the right toes flexed. Keep the spine nice and tall. Okay? Moving into the modification. She's going to take just so that it lands right in front of that knee. And she's going to take the little test on that side. Right? I'm taking the modification, so as my foot comes up here, this knee is still lifted. So I want to make sure that the foot can come underneath to support the weight of the knee. Okay? She is in the clear, right? So she's going to pick that foot up and put it into her other hip crease to find seated Lotus. Take a breath in. Think tall spine. Inhale. And exhale. With the modification or with the full pose, start to walk it out. And breathing here, right? We never want to sacrifice breath for pose. So if we get into a position where it's causing us to hold our breath, we just need to back out, take a step back, and readjust. Take one more inhale. And slowly coming up and out. Helping the left leg out. Try not to slingshot that leg. And helping the right leg out. And shaking it out. Give yourself a little love. All right. Thanks for joining us today. Good luck with that Lotus. We'll be back for some more inverted Lotus and videos to come. Thank you, Pam, for your time. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time.